All right, good morning, everyone. Let's get it going here. All right, U.S. markets gave up a little bit of their gains, gave up all their gains yesterday. It wasn't up that much. It just kind of more or less had a sideways session. I think we had about 7 or 8 point range, and it still looks that hilly on the graphs. It just shows you how little volatility there was. Some interesting action on a few things yesterday. One of them was precious metals market. We saw a huge reversal, and silver and in gold. I think silver was down close to 9% at the very beginning of the U.S. session, European session, and we ended up trading to positive territory on the day. Gold also saw a huge reversal. Gold traded down to about 1330 odd, and managed to make a reversal all the way up to close to 1390 on the day. So very monster reversals in the precious metal space. It's really interesting that that's happened on essentially no news yesterday. So I think it's something that we need to keep an eye on. We also saw energy stocks and basic materials continue to trade pretty well as the oil price broke out of that technical pattern that we showed yesterday above the trendline resistance. Asian stocks, you can see they're mostly down across the boards, down small though. I think a little bit of profit taking ahead of the Fed with their testimony tomorrow before Congress. I think that also you can see there on the right, you can kind of see that basic materials kind of led the way. Industrials also traded reasonably well, and everything else is kind of down across the board. So watch for those same sectors today in our market. But we also had the International Commercial Bank of China that fell after Goldman Sachs sold its remaining stake there of over $1 billion. All right, we had a runner out today that had headline earnings per share. It was a slight beat from what their guidance was. A revenue of 258, earnings per share of 258, expected at 256. And then the divvy was a small miss at 95 cents versus 1 rand expected. Revenue was also a miss at 5.3 versus 5.49 bill. Vodafone in London was pretty much dead in line on the revenue number, and maybe a small beat on the organic service revenue. Also, we had Burberry that was out in London, a revenue of £2 billion, expected at 1.98 billion. So that was a small beat, but the divvy per share was quite significant, 29p versus 20. So I think that's a big beat out of Burberry on the divvy side. A lot of broker upgrade downgrades today. We had Barlow's that was rated sell at Deutsche Bank, target price at $84. We also had Able that was rated buy at Deutsche Bank with a target price of $25.60. Some little upside on that thing with that target price. We had Vodacom that was rated hold at Deutsche Bank, a target price $115. And then at Barclays, they downgraded Vodacom to underweight at the same target price at $115. So, which is really interesting. I'll show that in a minute on the charts. That's our resistance level that we're going to show this morning. Market data out today. We've got we had Japanese oil industry activity index, which is slight beat. We've got leading indicators out of SA later, and then we've got the UK CPI at 10:30. All right, let's jump into the maps. All right, first thing I'm going to show here is ABSO. We've really broken down out of this little upward sloping wedge here. A lot of the banks obviously had vicious down days. What I'd like to focus on now is really just to close below recent lows, which would be below 140, about 144 and a quarter. If we can close below that level, I think APSA's got quite significant downside, and I wouldn't surprise to see it move, from the top end of this range to the bottom, probably about around 10 rand, 11 rand to the downside if we can get below on a closing basis. Standard Bank very much the same way. Standard Bank, same sort of pattern. We really had a vicious down day yesterday, and same thing. I'm wanting to look for us to possibly take out lows on a closing basis, which I believe are, I'll tell you exactly what they were. 108.23 on the close. We take that out. I think Standard Bank also could potentially have some significant downside, possibly down to around 100 Rand. I think we got to make sure that there's going to be some opportunities at the end of all of this. They may be overreacting, but we've seen this sort of thing a lot of times in the past, and it just kind of seems that the market really tends to make a big overreaction on the onset, and then as the dust settles, there's a lot of opportunities left. What's really important is that we don't try to pick the bottom, and we actually wait to see this thing start to make a bit of a reversal to the upside. So try to be patient on these banks over the next few sessions. Remgro, I'll show it here. I'll zoom forward here a little bit so you can see more clearly. You can see there how we made a reversal yesterday. At one point it was looking like a key reversal when we were down here. We're going to define a key reversal as making new highs of the recent trend and then reversing and closing below the previous day's lows. We did close below the closing lows of yesterday, but we didn't close below the absolute lows of yesterday. We were down there. So this is it's a reversal in Remgro, but something to pay attention to. Nonetheless, not as big as a key reversal. So watch out for that today. We could see, if we can break below to the downside of this channel, which we were out of yesterday. If we can break to the downside of that, I think I wouldn't be surprised to see us actually even be able to come down here and test support at 186. I think this thing does have a way to fall, but I think the whole market's short of it, so just be careful of that one. Vodacom, let me just back out of that real quick. There we go. Vodacom, it's funny that because we're going to show this chart right now, which gives us really on the trend line 115. You can see there is where we're coming in. We close at 114.5. This is going to be the key level that we're going to want to watch out for in Vodacom. I personally think this thing's a bit of a short here, just because I think that of the numbers and the new competition that's coming into the market, I think these things are going to find a hard time to grow. But we're going to let the technicals tell us what to do. 115 is our resistance level. If we get above that, I think you got to you either play long or not be short anymore. And 115 was the exact target price that Deutsche and Barclays came out with this morning. So watch around that 115 handle, and Vodacom could be a very big level. All right, Goldfields. I'm actually going to show Goldfields in New York. And the reason why I want to show this as well, same sort of thing as we were showing in the Remgro chart there. We did make an actual key reversal here. Let me just try to make it as big as I can. You can see here we traded to multi-year lows on Goldfields in the States yesterday. Then we made a reversal and we closed above the prior day's highs. So very big reversal out of Goldfields. Something I really want to watch today. Keep a very, very close eye on. Obviously that coincided 100% with what the gold price did yesterday. This could mark a temporary bottom in some of these golds. Just keep your eye on it on the day here locally. We could have some more upside to that today. I think the market's probably started to shift a bit short of these things, so you got to be very careful in those counters. All right, Foschini. I show Foschini as well here. Really, we'd put a line in the sand here around 109 for the past month at least. It seemed like we just touched it over and over and over again. And really, when you look at it, this thing was starting to look a bit like a bear flag after pushing lower. We had this long period of consolidation where we've managed to just break down out of where we've managed to just push sideways, and now we're breaking down out of this. I think there's a significantly lower target here. What I'd like to watch for as well today, we closed right at closing lows that we saw back in March. But if we manage to break below that today, which I would kind of expect that we do, I think there's a significantly lower target here. I really think we could trade all the way down to close to 93, 94 Rand. So watch Foschini today. Very important level around 104 there. And then Trueworth as well also broke below previous closing lows, or recent closing lows, I should say. over the past year or so, and this thing could have a significantly lower target as well. It really broke down, just couldn't quite make it above this 93 level, and closing below 87, which is a previous closing lows. I think this thing really has significant downside here as well. I think we could see $6-7 at least to the downside in true worst from here. And that's all for the local market. I'm going to show the last one. We show PNN on the LSE, which is really kind of breaking above what's been its prior recent highs, and potentially, this as a kind of continuation pattern that we've seen recently. It's probably not we probably wouldn't call it a full continuation pattern, but important levels nonetheless. I think that we've just broken above those recent highs around 705. Probably have another 75p to a pound to the upside here. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.